Hey everyone, Andre here with the Wings Mobile Detailing Podcast. Today we're interviewing and having a conversation, actually more than an interview. We're just having a conversation with Eliud. He's a franchise owner in Detroit, Michigan. And right now he's in a colder climate right now. So it's going to be even better to share more of the on the operations side as well in all times. So thank you, Eliud, for taking, for taking the chance to share with us and with the audience and with us and everyone your experience, from going. I know you had initially left your job.
Mhm.
Actually, that was recent, and you've been with Wings for a few months now,
Yeah.
since June. So thank you, Eddie. I appreciate you being on the video.
No, thank you. And I appreciate you, inviting me and having me on your video and your podcast.
Awesome. And so we're going to share today, give you the ins and out, everything that you can share with before operations. And then we're going to cover some more of the preparation process, how it is a day-to-day from working at a 9 to 5 to now you're also an owner-operator as well,
Mhm.
not just an owner-manager, but you're actually out there in the front line.
Yeah.
But tell me about you first, Ali, just before we get to your experience. How is it like being a franchise owner at Wings Mobile Detailing? Tell me about you. What's your background?
Okay. Well, my name's Eliud, and my background, my work history, it was pretty much all military and government. I did 8.5 years in the Coast Guard as a damage controlman. And then after that I went into the federal government as a resource analyst. Worked there overall 16 years of government service, which it's a good amount. If you want a pension from this, so it's good. But it came to the point where growing up, I always wanted to be a business owner. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have something I could call my own and grow. And as time goes by, 15, 16 years, we don't get old, we don't get any younger. So it came to that point, where either make that decision now in my 30s, or stay here and work my 9 to 5 and keep going.
Yes.
And I have that that entrepreneurial itch or bug bite. That was always there. Even so I said I might as well take the risk now and do it before I get too old. So this is where we're at.
Yes.
We chose you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And with the transition, do you think initially? I remember initially you were, as everybody who is starting a business, feel a little bit not skeptical, but afraid. Is it going to work out? Is it not? Um, how stressful was it, this starting process? Was it smoother than you thought, or was it more stressful than you actually thought it would have been?
Well, stress is going to be there no matter what. Because going,
Mhm.
you're going from a normal job that provides insurance, everything. You have a set schedule to jump in ship pretty much and taking a risk. There's stress.
Mhm.
Before we found Wings Mobile Detail, we were stressing out a lot because we didn't know if we had to quit our jobs right away, or if they were flexible with how you open your franchise, your grand opening, and after talking to you, interviewing with you, we felt less stressful, more comfortable being able to start on baby steps, crawl,
Right.
walk, run. And it worked
Mhm.
because we could, I was able to keep my job. So, recently, and do the Wings Mobile Detail franchise side part-time, and it worked. It's
Yes.
working great. And now, it's less stressful than having to quit your job
Mhm.
and then just start a new
Jump
business.
right into it.
Exactly. Not knowing what your
Right.
potential profit is and if you could make, the mortgage, any bill you have. But
Right. So that worry was in your mind initially when you were starting the business back in
yeah,
June.
yeah, that was
Mhm.
that was one of our major issues, was making sure we didn't, have to go back to
Yes.
work and try to juggle the business plus trying to find a nighttime job or something. So, it
Yes.
was a blessing to find you guys. And
That's
that's
great.
like was you
Yes.
are.
What was the preparation process from the moment you found Wings Mobile Detailing, the franchise opportunity available in Detroit, Michigan, uh, to after the qualification call and then the presentation, and then to the point where you signed the agreement and you started. After that point, there's a preparation process, right, until the operations, because you started the operations in June of this year.
Yeah. So I think we probably got a hold of you in like March or April, maybe. I was like maybe a month or two before the grand opening, probably 60 days. But so, after talking to you and pulling, saying, yeah, let's do it, the process, it was pretty smooth. Anybody that wants to start a business thinks, you have to jump through hoops and do all this crazy stuff. But you guys had it, step by step written down, checkpoint. You had a checklist ready for us, and we just start tackling it. The van, the all the LLC legal stuff, insurance. It was all, it was just a checklist, like any checklist anybody would do. Especially being in the military. That's how you stuff done. You make sure everything is checked off. And but yeah, so it
Yes.
was smooth. And then after we had everything prepped, the van ready to go, all the supplies, then we did that 1 week training in Virginia, got all the required training knowledge we needed from John, and June 15th came by and we started.
Great. You started reasonably quick, the operations, because if it was around, February, March, um, it was definitely less than 5 months
Yeah, no, yeah, we
to
were
the
checking
point
that.
that you started.
We were going through that list like it was on fire.
Yes.
Making sure that we were ahead a week. That was our goal. Try to be ahead a week.
Yes.
It worked
And
out.
then you prepare the van and everything. From the operations manual of preparing the van, you bought the supplies and everything, and you have the van wrap and you have everything ready. It was by June, right? I think it was mid June or 1st of June.
No, I think we had the van ready before we even went to training. So we had the van either
Yes.
end of May or in beginning of June, and then we went to training, and then we came back, and I think a week later, June 15th, we started operations.
Tell me about the training process, Elio.
Yeah.
On your perspective, right? Seeing on mine is different than actually seeing on yours. You had to fly here. How was that entire process?
I mean, the process was great. We live, from Michigan to Virginia we drove, so it was about 10-hour drive, so it wasn't too
Oh,
bad.
you drove here. That's
Yeah,
true.
and we like driving because we have a vehicle, we could go sightseeing and all that.
Take
But
advantage, and yes.
you know it, and
Yes.
but it was amazing. I mean, when before Wings Mobile Detailing and the training, when I cleaned a car, it'd be the way I did it, the way but going into the training and training with John, he is very detailed and very oriented on the steps. Like, so you start with the interior vacuum, hard surfaces, and every step of the way, John was there to answer any questions. To make sure if to hit on certain spots that people might not see or might miss, and the waxing, and then all the every service that you guys provide was trained to the most the professional level, to
That's
where
great.
we were stunned, like, man, this is amazing, all in 1 week.
Already in that week.
All in 1 week we had all the services you guys provide. We learned them, and if we didn't have the appointment that with that certain service, somebody, we had a vehicle ready just to do like the ceramic coating.
True.
But we
Yes.
we overcame and we conquered, so it was good.
Yes. And before that, you actually came here. I believe it was a week before, 2 weeks before, in that preparation process before operations. You had completed the academy as well, right? The on-demand academy for training.
Yeah, that's true. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so we Wings Mobile Detail provides an app with all the training available, pretty much the same training you take in person is the same training you watch, and you could rewatch and go over, and then there's like tests at the end of each video, which helps you understand even further what each
Hmm.
service. And then on top of that, the other videos are on how to set up your van, how to do rinseless or no rinse wash, how to put your buddy heater on, and so it goes from spring all the way back to spring. So,
Right.
yeah, spring, summer, fall, winter. How to set up your van and how to keep your supplies from freezing over or anything.
Hmm. Which is
You know.
much needed for Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, yeah. Right here,
Yes.
we're cold. It snowed a couple days ago, so my
Uh-huh.
first no rinse washless, it was a success. But for me, it was a learning curve because it was like, man,
Yes.
I'm used to doing the pressure washer, but thanks to the training, I was able to figure it
Get
out
through that.
and complete
Yeah,
the.
we saw the picture. Even the marketing team, they posted online. But the I think it was this past Monday that you sent a picture of you actually detailing on the snow. The car was actually covered in snow,
It was, yeah,
but it
yeah,
came out beautiful, man. It came out that red popped out really well.
yeah. No, that no rinseless wash, it's beautiful. It leaves it no streaks, no
Mhm.
nothing. You could makes it
Yes.
like it's never been sitting outside.
Yeah, there are ways to get through. We have actually other videos and podcasts that even I recorded going over detailing in the winter. Some people think that it's impossible because everything freezes, the product freezes, but we have ways out to
Yeah,
keep the van warm without leaving the car on,
exactly.
and techniques as well to detail interior and exterior so it goes smooth.
Hmm.
So you mentioned earlier that at first you started wings for you to feel more safe. You started part-time when you started wings mobile detailing business because you didn't want to leave your lifelong career that you had,
Yeah,
right? So you want to make sure, okay, let me take this step, make sure before I leave that income,
yeah,
um, I want to make enough at wings to where um, I can replace that income right initially, and and then later on, which was a few months after that, uh, we decided that, okay, no, this is the time. This is the time to leave that career and now go full time because of the potential. Now, how was that first month of operation, month of between June and July, in regards to appointments? Uh, how was that in compared to what you expected before you even started?
well, going from a desk job to being out in the field and washing cars and trying to spread the word, advertise, going to dealers, it's a whole different world. And you know
Mhm.
I'm a person that I'm shy by nature. I really don't like conversation much, or that's why I'm not a salesman. But it comes to a point where it's like you do it, or you're not gonna have any customers. So I took the advantage and I started putting out flyers and going to dealers and
Mhm.
hoping that I get a couple
Great.
appointments, and it worked. And then we were able to go on apps, like Nextdoor and all that, and post our services. And so the first month
Mhm.
it was good. We already had an appointment on the first day we opened on June 15th. We had one appointment, and then I think Friday, or 2 days later, we had another, and then the weekend got
Mhm.
so it picked up fast.
That's great. And you were actually only for the second and third month you were doing really part time, right? And
Yeah,
were you still able to fulfill those available times that you have to work at Wings with appointments on the
yeah,
second?
yeah. We were able
Mhm.
to, after work, we were able to, especially in the summer, because it gets dark later. So we were able to do appointments all the way up to like 8 or 9 p.m. Work, we went and detailed cars, and that helped. That helped us measure out financially if we could do this full time, and if
Mhm.
we could leave our job. And I was
Right.
the first one to leave my job. Katie, we'll
Mhm.
play that by ear, but the math worked. The
Yes.
calculations worked, and it was like, okay, we could do this, and we could not have to eat ramen noodles for a couple months. So
Yes.
it worked out,
And
and It was good.
Yes. And now there's like I said, there's a difference between the 9 to 5 and a job in front of a computer, desk computer, to being it out there. Obviously, the goal here is really for you to be to manage your business to the point where you're back, behind your computer and just managing the team and your fleet.
Exactly.
But initially, now you started as owner operator, um, and I'm sure there is a huge difference. I know there is, to being out there working. How is that? How is the day to day as well? From the moment that you leave your home, the time to you arriving at an appointment, what are you doing between with the app, notifying the client? Yeah, how's the day to day of a
The day to day,
operator?
it's fairly simple. You got the job app that tells you when you have your appointments, when, location, and you make sure you check on the maps and make sure you have what time you need to leave before, because some appointments could be half an hour, 20, 10 minutes, an hour. So then you make sure your van is set up to go for the service or the job, and then you send out a message to the client through the job app that you'll be there in 30 minutes, an hour. I usually like to give them an hour notice so they could have
Mhm.
their car ready and take stuff out that they might,
Yes.
so they don't want to leave in the car. Also, talking to the executive assistant, it's easy. If anything comes up, I could call Brandon or you, and
Yes.
I'll have an answer within the day, or even couple, right away. So
That's great. Yes.
it's awesome.
That's great. So it looks like the operation is always smooth, and your focus is really to go out there and do the job that's listed.
Exactly. I don't have to. There's on my side, I don't have to worry about booking the appointment, all that. That's all done through you guys, through Brandon. All I have to do is make sure that somebody's there to detail, and especially us now that we're starting. So we're the, like you said, owner operator. But
Hmm.
eventually, when you start hiring employees, maybe make sure there's a body in the location trying to provide the service.
Supervise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, hey, that's
Yeah.
fine.
And so that you feel like that helps with the growth because your focus is mainly on is going to be on supervising the team, or you providing the detail. Your focus is to go there, make sure the detail is done, and
Mhm.
then that helps you with the fact that there is a call center taking the phone calls, going after the invoices, payments, and
No, yeah, it. Like I said, it makes it so much easier where all you have to do is look at the app, make sure you go to appointment. Everything else is taken care of. Invoice is taken care of. Uh, the appointment
Mhm,
setting is taken care of. The customer service is taken care of. I mean,
mhm,
it there's not much else to do. You just look at the app, go to your appointment,
mhm.
complete it,
Beautiful.
and move on.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about.
What is the barrier, the demand that this industry is having? Because there's always going to be car. What is the barrier of entry for this type of franchise? The fact that we don't need an overhead, need a building to rent, or go after hundreds of thousands of dollars. We don't have to spend all that because it's pretty much you starting off, taking it step by step. Like you said, everything is. We don't put the horse in front of the carriage. The carriage in front of the horse, right? We don't do that.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, if the horse in front of the carriage, then that's a smooth ride.
That's a smooth, yeah.
I don't think. Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, yeah. I think the barrier of entry is low, very low. I mean, like I said before, we looked at other franchises and other you know business opportunities, and most of those barriers of entries were like outrageous. You can't. There's no way unless you're saved for 10 years. There's no way you can afford some of
Mhm.
these franchises. Because you need, like you said, you need a location, you need a brick and mortar location, and that's a lot of overhead supplies.
Mhm.
But with Wings Mobile Detailing, I mean, low overhead, if any. You know, supplies wasn't outrageous. And the van, you lease the van or or
Mhm.
take
Yes,
a
finance it.
or finance. Yeah, so the
Mhm.
barrier entry is low because you can finance the van, get a credit card and get all the supplies, and then start working really fast. Some franchises you have to wait till you find a location. You have to wait till you the franchisor uh sets up what you are required to do. You have to pay so much money ahead of time before you
Mm-hmm.
even operating. So it's, I mean, you can't complain with Wings Mobile Detailing because it's you're operational, like you said, 12 weeks or less.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that's why we chose Wings Mobile Detailing, because
Mm-hmm.
it was, for us it was a no brainer. We could just do all that, finance the supplies, finance the vehicle, and start working.
Yes.
It paid off.
Yes. And finally, what is your goal here, Alio? Within, let's say, to put a timeline, right? We like to work with targets.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially you as a veteran, getting those trucks and getting the target in front within the next year. Where are you looking to take your operations of Wings?
Hopefully, we're looking for a second van by, I want to say, early spring, late winter, and
Mhm.
hopefully, working to set that van up for when we have to hire somebody, and that's
Yes.
our 3 to 6 months goal. Our yearly goal, probably by this time next year, hopefully have two vans running and working on a third van, you know.
Yes.
And but that's our short term goal. Hopefully,
Yes.
our long term goal is, have
Sky's the limit.
exactly have as
Even
many
more.
people as we can in one area, and then move on
Yeah.
to a next one, and get that
Yes.
location running.
Yeah. Expand to even a different location, another
Yeah,
franchise.
different location, different state, and
Yes.
go from there. So that's our goal. We, as like I said earlier, I always had that entrepreneur bug, and if we're the type that if you're gonna go, you might as well just go all out and
Yes.
take the risk, because if I if I
You gotta
didn't
take the leap to
stayed
reach
working,
success.
yeah, exactly.
Yes.
If I didn't want to take the risk, I would have just stayed at my job.
Yes. And one last thing, Ali, because as we're saying that, I reminded me of the books, because we share with you books, to audio books to listen to while we are out there doing the detailing job. How did that change your perspective towards being a business owner? The books in and of itself, like reading out there, not only the motivation, which is also tremendously important.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, thanks to you for sharing the 10x book from Grant Cardone and Audible. Let me know that I could use that as a motivation factor, and it helped, because the 10x books just gets you going, gets you motivated, and how
Yes.
it also it's also like it's not a motivational book, it's more of a guide, and that
Uh-huh.
previously, I have no sales background. I'm a fairly shy person. I keep to myself. Listening to that book, gets you going, gets your brain going, and like, man, I could use this and do that. So that's what helped me go and be more efficient, and more, I guess more, they said, more active, and more less, less
Yes.
shy, more motivated to go out there and hustle,
Hmm.
get people, get the flyers out on cars, get going to dealerships and get denied 10 times, and that
Yes.
it's a learning curve, because people are afraid, they fear no, so,
Yes.
and I did too, and now you just go and try to sit down
Yeah.
with a sales rep, or sales manager. They tell you no, you say, hey, I'll be back tomorrow, or I'll be back next week. you
Know
know
that that's
i'm,
part of the game.
I'm gonna keep going. Oh, yeah, I'm keep coming back until you say yes.
Yes. And
you know
that's something I learned myself as well, that once you do it, right? Once you take the action, the success is not about the no's. If you're Because you get no's, like that's part of it. You get, like I said, to me, I always say, you go to a dealership, expect to hear nine no's and one yes
exactly,
out of
yeah.
10. But what defines a success, which to me I see as it's uh, inevitable. It's an inevitable. If you don't stop doing it, if you don't stop going after, the success will come inevitably.
Yeah.
It's going to come. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, that's
Uh, it's the law of you plant and you plug up what you planted.
exactly.
You
Yeah,
continue putting it out there, it's gonna it's biblically, right? It's
yeah.
the
You
law. You
reap
plant,
what
you're gonna
you sow.
collect.
That's true. You sow good things, you'll reap good things. That's true.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, the fear of no is like people think is like deadly. Like, oh, if you say no, you're gonna have a heart attack. But it's just
Awesome.
like you said, get used to people saying no to you, and it's just another word.
Yes.
I don't know if it was Katie was telling me her grandfather was a salesman, and he said the sale starts when the person says no. So when they say no, that's when the sale starts. So
Wow, nice. I haven't
yeah,
heard that.
you know,
Interesting.
I took that.
Yes.
I was like, hey, when they say no, I'll be back. You know,
Yes.
I may if her father or her grandfather, but you know, I know.
That's awesome.
But yeah, the sale starts right when they say no.
Yeah. We'll leave with that, Elio.
Yeah,
Yeah, the sale starts when you hear the first no.
yeah, that's when the sale actually starts.
That's awesome. Thank
So,
you so much, Elio. You have an
yeah,
appointment. I know you do have an appointment later on, so I still appreciate you taking your time, and that's awesome to share with the audience as well.
yeah,
So Wings expand even more. People have a firsthand, those who are looking into different business to get into different industry even, and looking how this industry with the potential where it's growing. It's
yeah.
always great. It's better. It's definitely a lot better to hear directly from a franchise owner,
Hmm.
especially you that you're operating. You're out there. We have some franchise owners that is mainly the manager, is not actually hands-on operators. They hire a manager and workers, but it's a different perspective hearing from somebody with the frontline experience in the front line.
But
So
yeah, you have to get.
yeah.
In my opinion, is you have to get dirty and learn so you could teach. Because when you
Mhm.
hire new people, you want to train them the right way. You don't want
Yes,
to send them out. But yeah, I mean,
yes,
and this franchise is good too. If you love working around cars, if you love cars, planes, boats, motorcycles, you get to clean them. You get to
yes,
you get to be up close. And those are also goals because sometimes you'll be able to clean a Mercedes or some exotic car, and you're like, hey, I like that car. I want to work towards getting my own someday.
yes,
So you have your
yes.
goals right there in front of you.
That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. And you're getting the before and after result right then and there.
yeah,
Uh, and it's each job. Also, I think that's a great thing about it as well is that the cash flow is not only is it instant cash flow, but it's right there. You finish that job, you see the client happy, everybody around you is happy because okay, I wanted to get my car clean, it looks awesome, and you get the money directly. You don't have to wait a couple of months and through a big balance sheet to see if it's gonna work out. It's right there, the
yeah.
result, right?
That's right. You don't have to
Uh,
wait for a paycheck.
that too, that too.
And I mean,
Thank
this is
you. Yes,
oh yeah, this is one of those businesses where you get instant gratification from the client and yourself. You can't say that about many other businesses. People are always angry. so,
yes, yeah. There's some. Yes.
so this is a bonus for the owner and the client because both are going to be happy
Yes.
at the end of the detail.
Awesome. Yes. So I will stop this recording here and leave the link to the franchise also website on the description of the video.
All right.
But awesome. Appreciate it.
Oh, thank you, thank you.